Hello again, friends. Welcome to AquaDream Studio. Today, I've decided to record the third installment for you. Tour of all the aquariums. But since last video, of all my aquariums, their number has increased. So, today's video will be split into two parts. In the first part, we will go through first to my 16 aquariums. On this whole side, gonna tell a little bit again about their story, about their age, some of the changes that have occurred, and also talk about some details at moments, low-tech nano aquarium, and what's important to keep in mind if you want to have one. There will be a lot of conversations today, so get comfortable. Don't switch. Watch until the end, and I hope for yourself you will emphasize lots of useful information. So well, and my first aquarium, one of my old 45 centimeters he's long. Here, like all my aquariums, he's also low-tech, without systems O2, and the filter is installed. Backpack outside, there's 5 compartments. All your filters outside. Backpacks I upgrade. I never use with basic sponges, which are inside. Since such filtering is not enough, I have different sponge fractions. Also filler for biofiltration to colonize bacteria. I always upgrade every filter. Of the filter I'm BTW, not mine for 6 tattoos and more months. I've had some filters for over a year. Did not clean the inside and still work fine. Of course you would have to wash them, but sometimes there is not enough time at all. By the way, I want to make you a video, probably in the next draft, either in the second part of this video, exactly when I will talk about your big cubic aquarium. I want to open the filter with you, which I haven't washed in this cubic aquarium since. How did I make him? And I made it my way a year and a half ago. Here's me wondering, what are their filters are happening? At least you have to replace top sponges. So in part 2, we will watch what happened to the filter inside there. In year and a half, well, what here I have here to Danish live. Forever hungry, nimble, most active fish. Here in the background I was planting. If you saw my video of remodeling this aquarium, because here before in the background grew and hinders. Now link on the video of the alteration of this aquarium on the screen, go see. And right now here on the back is growing. Nanohair small. In low-tech aquarium. Some plants at first when you plant them. After purchase they will grow just fine. Actively will be juicy, beautiful colored, but gradually will fade and will no longer look so healthy and beautiful. For example, here it is Nanoval. She grew very thick at first. I even pulled her pieces and transplanted it into this large cubic aquarium because she grew up here right lot and now grew gradually. Active such stopped. She started letting her mustache here on the sides, and by the way they grow long. They grow like small weed. Perhaps if I cut these cubs, she will grow here again thicker. Gonna try next time. Here I added I have stayed from the past. Of the project, my favorite moss fountain. For low-tech aquariums, think about petty, small species of fish suitable for nano aquarium. For example, it can be cockerel. The roosters though, I don't like any. And one I had lived, but he died fast. But very well suited. He's not very good kind. Either tethers are dwarf. Small kinds of tether are very well suited for this. Yellow shrimp, any basically shrimp will be good. Live. This will be great choice to prevent them from growing. Though, as you can see, I have lot in some aquariums. Plant, and it does not interfere with the life of the aquarium. They sold it to me at discount, but still maintain it in order as recommended. That is, get haircut regularly. Support it in its original form. Also, don't forget to remove all the trash. With bottom, when cleaning your aquarium, you need to remove all the surface waste, but only from the surface of the substrate. since the ground itself siphon. Totally not needed. He is so far. When siphon soil you slay all beneficial colonies of bacteria. So soil never I collect all the trash from the substrate surface. And remember the beauty. Simple nano aquariums lies in their simplicity. Enjoy creating your mini underwater world. If you need more inspiration, then visit my channel. Get to know him closer and with all my projects. Not green, more brown. So well, let's move on to my last nano cube. By far my last draft. This cube is only weak not even observing any algae outbreak. What usually happens at the start of new aquarium. But here so far everything flows well. Beautiful landrill good. Some leaves. Little bit yellowed. But here I am waiting for him to slander. But she also lets new leaves. The tree it stains the water little brown. So the first week one changed now the water. Now I change my water every 2 to 3 days. By 50%. Who else did not look? Video of this aquarium. Link will see on the screen. Go see. The aquarium is still completely new. Because there's different moss here. Possibly in few more days. I still expect small outbreak of drilling algae. Usually larva does not happen and she happens. In the form of such thin and very light hairs. But again, after a while, she completely disappears. This is the normal process. Therefore, this is why this also does not need to be scared. So far, I only have snails. In this aquarium, I did not grow on tree. But in 3 or 4 weeks, I will already start shrimp colony. Here, for example, this cube. To reset my draft. He's only 3 weeks old. And here, everything took root well. Beautiful Landrifern is doing well. Here you can notice. If I bring you closer. Here you can notice. So I planted this fountain. Just a little bit. Brown algae. Like I said. She forms here. In this form very thin. Like slime hairs. Here it is quite bit formed here, but with time she will disappear. When cleaning the aquarium, if noticed, it grows everywhere and always. Such algae. Here, by the way, but also this is all normal in the first stages of the new aquarium. When replacing water, you can simply manually assemble, either through to collect most of this and algae. After a while, she will leave herself. That's the way I got different kind of snail here. Most often they appear in my other aquariums. I bring them along with plants. Here, let's see. Very handy, nice snails help also. Keep the aquarium clean. Also here, really hard. Growing floating plant. I was literally adding thingies 3, 4, and now for almost the entire surface but I take them off and add to other aquariums where there are few. So well, and the next one is my cube. He is already slandered or not? Also linked to video. Building this cube. See on the screen now will appear. Who did not see? Look here. The only thing I changed moss here and on the wood. Because again the fountain, at the start of new aquarium, generally unpicky grows fine. And the previous moss that I had Christmas, will it turn green? Will it become He never beautiful? Took root. But most likely this is due to the fact that it's low-tech aquarium. And at the start of low-tech aquarium, not all the moss I have takes root. but the fountain behaves perfectly well without. Also, teammate managed to drive out on the back
Monte
of
Carlo
everything
I was
planting here. In this aquarium, Monte Carlo. Also here's fern. Decreased in size. Quite tiny. But still, something is growing somewhere. Also Tinalom. Not very large growing here. Again, as if nature adapts to size, respectively. All plants also decrease in size. Here's this one I had left
Also
over from last steam planted back there. Overall, everything is fine. Everything is going well. I only have small colony of shrimp here. Fish I don't want here. Well, all these for nano, small cubes I will. Run only shrimp. So well, and the last one who is only also a month old. I stuck it here. Video of which I could never post. On YouTube. The start of it almost passed. The plants all took root. Moss also took root. The only one where the raft falls most of the light. It forms fuzzy on moss. But again, the aquarium is new. Patience work will overwork. Gradually it will vaguely go away. We will watch it grow. Maybe I'm here to speed up this process. Planting a mon shrimp from another aquarium. And she will quickly clean it. Either you just need to wait and he will leave himself. And the thread itself will leave. Also here floating plant I have. Grow and all. Crypto Karen Paruvo dropped in some the first week. Busfalandra. Usually she always acts and now like she took root. Looking healthy, beautiful. Over there on the back. Together with Anubias. Feel great, everything is great. But for today, it's all friends. Part 1 of our tour of today my aquariums. In the second part of the tour, that's it, I transplanted her from my own, by the way. We'll walk you through my other ones. 16 aquariums. So stay tuned. Subscribe, put like this video if it was useful to you. And see you again, bye-bye. The oldest aquarium. Because I have it growing very much there. And here she is for a very long time, but now look how beautiful. And also Anubias Nana. Anubias Nana Petite, by the way, kind of not very healthy. But now a lot of fresh green beautiful leaves appeared. He still lets them over there, see over there appears. Here grows much thicker, began to look. Generally low-tech aquarium is always patient. This time some aquariums require much more time for complete restoration until of the biosystem. When the plants start feeling great and grow this aquarium until full recovery of the biosystem. It took a lot longer here than in my other aquariums. For what reason unknown, but took about a year and a half. Until the moment when Anubias began to grow Landrigan to grow. Here, by the way, still in the background, Cryptocorine. Also leftovers I have in general all the time. There are some plants, of course. I need to use them quickly or in new project. Or quickly put them in other aquariums. Because I don't have an aquarium for plants, everything is stored in drawer. But the longer they are kept there, the faster they are. Fade, therefore. I always need to fly somewhere here periodically. So now let's move on to my very first, the oldest aquarium. who is already 3.5 years old. He lives his life. All I do in it is I change the water. On this all, no special changes happen here. Here is the only Bucephalandra's grown lot here. I put her here on clump. Here she is also already grown, and I do not like. How does she look here? So in the future, I guess that I will cut her whole and move back here to clumps. And here we will do everything. Home now summer. The temperature is high, and in the summer always shrimp begin to breed. There are a lot of them in all aquariums. And in this also aquarium, as you can see. If you notice out there cherry shrimp, they are sitting everywhere down there too. Bred many beautiful cubs appeared. That's all the hands I don't reach here cut Anubian. Here are these old leaves ugly. They need all me to cut. Then Anubius will start letting beautiful new fresh leaves. Here you see already out. You can cut it like this, and here in an empty place it is better to plant it. Then it grows out. What will I ever do? And behind me there's generally complete mess. There I have crypto. And here's this houseplant here. Here's this houseplant decided that he will grow better if it puts its roots in this aquarium. I left him like that. Let it grow. So it started growing just at huge pace. Besides the fact that she put roots here, it started to grow at fast pace. So it gets. Apparently all nutrients from aquarium water are good. And here it is crawling here. Here are the new leaves appearing. And already put roots in my next aquarium. I think that I will not cut it. Let yourself grow. Will spread along the entire length. All aquariums and clean the water in them. Here I have the beanie of mold, which is on this stone. By the way, since how I made this aquarium 3.5 years ago, it periodically dries in the summertime, I use conditioner, but then it turns back green. New leaves appear. Now he is little dried up. She already see what beanie has grown. Here in my corner, by the way, Valesnaria. It's actually Volesnaria. I put her back. But she started letting babes. And kids grow up like this small rug, which is very amazing and looks very beautiful. That she grows not in length, but as if nature adapts to the environment. So the size of the aquarium, and according to the size of the aquarium, she's growing as well. Small leaves not long. Filter here I have. Outwardly here is such backpack. Also I didn't wash it for 6 months. Works so far okay. I did not see him clogged or something else. Still I will go through all the filters in one day. Gonna brush them all. And usually the filter I don't clean not completely. Brushing straight clean. Because they're contained colonies of bacteria. I only change the top sponge, which is the most for the finest cleaning. She spoils the fastest, only changing them. Or if the sponge is not quite bad look, I'm her just in the same water, aquarium or in filter water. Just rinsing little and putting the filter back on. The next aquarium very is old my 30 centimeter. I made him in June of the 21st He completely year. Changed his look. Totally don't look on like the cube that was from the beginning. A lot of things have changed here. Look how grown here. Bucephalandrel over the top. I want to make it a little lower. Slip her clumps. Glue it to the clump. Cause she goes up to high. Roots float in water. Still it needs little lower. Since she's shutting down. Generally all space. Here Anubias has grown very much, clumps growing out. Surface. Now it wouldn't hurt to cut him. Here either. I live shrimp. Also very much. Here you see over the cherry shrimp. Also a lot of them bred. Now in the summer, a lot of cubs appeared. Out there, all my Gymnanthus perlute. Here they all sit. There. See the red dots? Here they all sit on it. Clean it up. The most amazing thing about this aquarium, the fact that I planted here. It is without barter. And he didn't want to grow up here for very long time. Leaves rotted practically. He had no leaves left, rhizomes only. And I honestly thought that. He doesn't slander. But after some time, he still decided to grow at this rate. What look? He covered the entire surface of that aquarium. Light practically does not penetrate. So Anubias jungle here. But it's not all that underwater. And above the water, look, it has grown. Everywhere with huge hat. Almost the entire surface of the aquarium. What blocks the light? But I like him so much. He looks so beautiful. When he's so sprawled. That could I feel very sorry for him. But still when you have to do it. Since it blocks here. Light for other plants. Especially for Hemianthus here. So this mother. Rhizome I will still cut. Plant him somewhere. In half one form. He's up there. And that's the rhizome too. Out see the roots, what? Beauty. Well, this is my 60 rectangular aquarium. I did it also long time ago, in January 2020 second year. I don't really like this skate. I would like to remake him, of course. With him rushed, especially I did not plan skate here. Plants didn't really plan. Used rocks and clumps, which I had available, made of what was called. But here, well, Cryptocorinne is grown. Here I have multiple types of Anubias. That's their beanie. See how beautifully grown. Here I planted this Cryptocorinne. Volsmary was growing really well, but then something happened to her. And she decided not to grow anymore. Here in this part. By the way, here I want to plant some back lawn. Plants can be. If I see Nanolus Nelian sail. She is here. Will look beautiful. But here the bundle here of you see in the back grows also very like well. Bomb. I also cut her very many times. undercut, and she decided not to grow. Well, here's the bunches growing well. Here's this one quite long. You will have to trim it and plant it. Basically no changes here. This aquarium has also been living its life for a long time. Has long been fully restored. There I live 3 neon chicks, Siamese seaweed and few cichlids, but they constantly hide. I do not know if it will be possible to film. Well, what friends, let's go now to my This one is one of the oldest. I made him in April of the 22nd Here honestly year. Full thickets and full jungle. I did not do deep hair for very long brushing in it. But despite this plants grow. Here you see leak from the front. Going too hard. She climbed out of the bag. Generally planted her only bag, but she wanted to get out in the front here. Grew huge bush here. So I'll need her. Like that. Gently pull out and transplant to the bag. And maybe I will pull it out and transplant it. Her to another aquarium just where I need her. That's how she blocks a lot of light. Here recently I cut my hair. Jim had managed Louis. Cut with such small bush it is growing well. That's if you push back all these jungle thickets. Then if all these thickets, remove, over there is tree piece. And he is all overgrown by the way. The bucephalinders are very beautiful. You see how beautiful here. Growing will have to cut it too. And plant probably somewhere up here. Because out you see here the second bush of bucephalindra. This boutique I planted small ones, small scraps from other. And look how beautiful there are also the bushes also planted here Cryptocarina. And she just turned out huge. And grows huge chunk. With large leaves. Out will need her. Also probably transplant on the sides, either somewhere on the back. Because here she blocks everything. Just some huge thickets. Nothing is practically visible. Bottom I have here growing. Tanilla by the way were snary again here let. The mustache is starting to grow. Here I have teen melon and little bit of here grass. Here grass here was growing at the very beginning but then either the light began to block. Either again such plants as say Rotala. Either Hergris they grow very well, especially on the first pairs of nano aquarium. Round without filtration. Without additional feed O2. He grows very well grafts either Rotala and other plants that require too much concentration. First ones probably 6 months. They grow very well. They have enough concentration. natural CO2, which is formed in the aquarium, but then they start to gradually see. Especially when you cut them already. Not once. They are starting to lack that which was at the very beginning. To continue its growth. And for recovery after trimming. So here are grafts not very much left. But Tiny Lou's growing he well does not need high concentration CO2. Low-tech aquarium. And as you can see Wilsonarius too. Juicy green. To her accept the light. Don't need anything. It grows in any conditions. From the living I have 1 Melinsa left here. Large. Somewhere she swam there. Snails naturally as in all and my also aquariums. Here have shrimp. If I try. They shoot it and show it to you. So next is my ball. 25 centimeters wide. Made he was in October of his 22nd year. Nothing special with him. Not happening. Living his life. He see could how beautiful I'm pebble. Sprouted here, I only have shrimp red. This is where I planted cryptocarino. Out it grew how high. Also here I have annubios. He overgrown everything there here with I planted. Here I had crease. We could upstairs. But it stopped growing well. So as usual, my most favorite fountain, he planted here. Very well he feels here. Grew green. You need to hear crypto Karen Cool the course block. Tushi high knot. Expected me to grow so much. Also I have Tenellum growing here. I trim it periodically, doing it below. Then it starts growing small. Low. Bushes here now he rose again. Became tall will have to is good. A trim here I have Nubis nanopetitus. In half one form. I planted it with small bush. Look how it has grown. Continues to grow and bred. Let's new kids. New bushes. Periodically it dries up in the summertime. In the water level when it goes down. If I use conditioner. He dries up some leaves sometimes. Because the air is too dry. But basically looks. Now fresh beautiful. There are no dry leaves. How do you notice in all your aquariums? Especially in round. Aquariums without filtration. I use floating plants everywhere. Especially they help very well on the first one. Stages of new aquarium. Very good help because of their rapid growth. They help filter water very well. Also absorb into excess yourself. Of all that helps very well on the first ones. Stages of starting new aquarium. Therefore, when making new aquarium it is advisable also to add floating plants. But I use them everywhere now. Because grow these floating plants progression just so as not to throw them out. And lot I still throw out. But I also add them to all my aquariums. So next my ball is also the first time I did him in my opinion in March. But if you remember I decided to remake video of his rework. Will now appear on the screen. Go see and hear. When remodeling I decided to add here's this big piece of wood. Moss grows on it. Grew very well. By the way, that moss has grown very well in air form, but died and did not grow underwater. And also here I have Buchica. The Buchiki is already pretty big. Grew little tiny lump, but due to lack of light it doesn't grow very well. Lets his mustache and reaches for the sun. Also I have fern there a little bit. The whole back of there is shady and you can't even see the plant. Well, there are thickets of Voles Nellis. There is nothing else there in principle. Here you see the moss how beautifully grown, just like in nature. And here by the way Pelea growing, I planted her here. She's from inside that tree growing. She grew. Started letting her mustache outside. Outside they all already dried up. And look where she decided to grow. She decided to grow from inside the tree. Here is hole in the tree. And she snuck through that hole. And grows from it. Here are new fresh leaves. So Pelly will find different ways. Different ways of growth. doesn't want her to grow just from here. Here she needs to grow from other places. So my next little old ball. Only 17 centimeters wide. I made him in the summer of the 21st year, but the scape he had was originally a Ross Monte Basically, the scape was really pretty. But as I already told in my previous tour trouble happened to him. One day I decided, experiment and add iron in all their aquariums. And into this aquarium, I accidentally went too far with iron and added it too much. It seemed to me that there would be no problems. But the next day when I came back, all the plants rotted. Then I had to change the water, 100%, probably 5 times. Remove all toxins and replant. Now I have growing here. Game Auto's first feet very well here growing. I constantly trim it because it blocks the surface of the light. Looks very beautiful he is here. Also I have here Monte Carlo. I planted leftovers a little bit. I have 10 small bushes I was pulling out of other aquariums. Here it has already grown, looking beautiful. Well, that's how this aquarium still lives, living his life. I do not use fertilizer at all. One already have 4 bottles of fertilizer. Every time I see some fertilizer bottle, I decide to experiment again and try adding them. But every time you add another fertilizer, I'm starting to have algae problems in the aquarium. What conclusion I made for myself in low-tech aquariums, especially aquariums that's like my balls, without filtering, and in them completely. No need to add any fertilizer, otherwise you will have algae problems. And the reason for that, what is that low-tech aquarium? Plants grow slower than aquariums, with co-system 2, respectively. They are quite enough which they will trace consume from your nutritious substrate. Additional fertilizers and liquids, completely unnecessary. So don't repeat my mistakes. Don't add. No fertilizers. Quite enough nutrient substrates for low-tech aquarium. Here also planted here Cryptocollon caparva. Here she is growing beautiful. Little bit of seaweed. Nitschiki need to get her out. In general, I was making posts about algae work, and so algae do not need you need to get used to them. Aim, yours is only that, to create all conditions for the growth of higher plants, so that the algae in your aquarium does not prevail. For this, need right. Make your aquarium and use at least one fast-growing plant. Friends, well, now it's time for the very first ball, the scariest, in which I do absolutely nothing. And it's already overgrown and looks on top of me at the very beginning. When I made him, this was in year 20. My very first ball. I planted the first time Levigia Red. Levigia Red grew huge hat over there in the tree. Now nothing grows there anymore. but he looked just amazingly beautiful. But since again the aquarium is without serving, so the Ludwig long so grew. I cut her for a long time. After probably the 5th haircut, she started fading and stopped her growth completely. Right now this aquarium looks like this. Overgrown. Ugly one. Everything in it mixed. All plants, but I've had my eye on him for a long time. Need to remake him. Need to make him beautiful again. So maybe I'll just plant beautiful
Gonna do
plants. Deep haircut. But the substrate itself is only
And so I will
possible
not
to
touch
sprinkle
the whole
Here I lived
substrate.
only one big cherry shrimp. She was just some unusual
Huge
sizes. But she, in my opinion, already died. Long did she live. No one lives here now. You need to buy here. Couple of shrimp. Let them revive this aquarium so well in the next ball. One of my faves. Where is just the perfect biosystem? Nothing in it. There was no algae at the very beginning. Nothing bad ever happened to him. I made him in March of the 22nd year. Recently I was doing here deep haircut. But look. Green again. The lid wise need to trim her. Much. Remove from here. Fern grows also. Began to grow very fast. Goes out to the front. Here I planted also moss. And fountain. Here it is there throughout the middle part is growing. Tinalon here I have growing. So I probably now right and cut this green people. Here see from above how beautiful she is. The leaves began to turn red. In air uniform, looking very beautiful. She grows constantly. Generally green human. She doesn't even need an extra. She's perfect for low-tech aquariums. Will always feel great. Growing perfectly. And even after numerous cuts, she still recovers and continues to grow. Here now these pieces are beautiful. Will need trim and plant. I certainly really like it when she grows. Into air form goes. I will probably leave these here are beautiful. Reddish leaves. Let them like this come out beautiful from the water. Really pretty. But these two pieces, who came out in my front part, I will cut them now. So now in the very front, I will remove her because that she is also from the bottom. And these roots don't look very nice. You see how long. She even split. Here's look. Beauty. Let's her from the front. So here we take. And over there somewhere back. Somewhere neat. Plant. Like this, so she in the back like this. Into air form transitioning. Was growing. Really pretty. So still here. Alone. Here I have children living. And lots of shrimp. Right now I guess I already climbed there. They all hid. Fern also of course but I feel sorry for him, to be honest. I tried to stick it. In the middle he will still climb out. But in principle even such thickets I like. How it looks. Such deep dark cave turned out. Over there over in the middle. It looks very beautiful when you trom and swim. Very beautiful shots are obtained. Against the background of this black cave. After green thickets. Looking very beautiful. Also I have here on top in China. He used to rust those up. But I was trimming it. After a few haircuts he got offended. Only like this here, and small leaves as reaching the surface of the water. That's where I also originally had thickets of fern and moss. It's almost already invisible, but he is there. Light for all your balls. I use the same one with wooden stand. On some I have 5-watt lamps. On some 7 cotton wool. On the biggest, 9-watt. REFERENCES to I found for you on AliExpress. Follow the links under this video. If you want, make your purchase in Russia, either to other SNG countries, and buy the same light. So, let's move on to my tiny old ball. He is from the 21st year. Nothing I redid in it. The only thing I planted here is Cryptocar improva, which is over there on the front. Here I was making little video recently. I got black shrimp. Out she is if you see her. Out she appeared on the stone. Here she goes out. See black shrimp. Where did she come from here? I only had red ones here. And gray shrimp. Where did black come from? By all comments of my short video about these black shrimp, most of the people for. What is this genetics? Someone leans towards that it depends on what shrimp eat. But others are not black. Where did black come from? Why don't others change their color when they feed? The same thing. In the same aquarium. On the back of me, Hemianthus peruvit is growing. You would have to trim it. He looks sloppy. Ugly in general. I did not focus on so him. Old. But I have here, especially in the summer. Huge colony, different shrimp formed. So despite the fact that he is scary, but healthy. So now let's move on to mine. 35-centimeter ball. Here I have growing Gymnanthus parabole. I already cut it many times. It grows with geometric progression. But BTW after the last haircut. What did I notice? What again it started not growing, most of it started to fade. Either it has to do with that. What I have here 3 or 4 Amon shrimp. A man shrimp eat algae very well. Here I put them because I was here Nikit Kama. And I put them in so they clean the moss. They cope with this task perfectly. Clean the whole aquarium, but when the seaweed runs out, they start eating some plants. One of these plants, which they can eat, became here this gymnot. At first it seems to me that they eat because every time on the surface of the water I find very many pieces from this plant. Either it has to do with that Chimianthus spiruet started to fade. Bad leaves appeared. They just start eating those yellowed and bad leaves. Not sure exactly. Either they just eat it because they have nothing Either they eat because he let's see, and bad leaves began to appear. In general, I wanted to remove them. The first time I failed. They swim really fast. In general, I spit. Left them while I watch here. If they continue, if I notice that they are still, eat the whole then I'll have to remove them from this aquarium. Plantware. I have some seaweed. And they can eat them. Look how beautiful it is here. With the beanie on the stone I grew fountain of moss I am. Just adore. Look what he is. Green is beautiful lush. Well just beauty. Behind me there is fern growing. Gaming this on the sides I added here cryptocaring. Here is one with reddish leaves. One bush here. And the second bush over there. Also I have anivusly anapetus. Here I live a mono and neon chikes. Here you see how hemianthus bubbles. It means photosynthesis goes very well. It means he is growing. Growing fast. So most likely my conclusion
That's still
will be
a
that
man shrimp when hungry.
I have nothing to eat, knowing to eat some
Namely
types of
for
plants.
now.
From my experience, Tajamaya, this Brugit here is this one. And also Demian Ace Monte Carlo. I noticed too. Is where I have Ivagumia. Skate, I noticed that they are starting to eat little. My Gymnanthus is Monte Carlo. You ask why you don't feed shrimp. And I have shrimp food and I feed them, but despite the fact that I feed them, they still keep looking for other types of food in the aquarium. Of course, low-tech nano aquariums can delightful addition to your home. These aquariums are relatively simple, require minimal maintenance, and at the same time they can showcase beautiful aquatic life. Here are some key points which I would like for you to clarify, which should be taken into account when creating low-tech nano aquarium. The first is the size of the aquarium. You can choose small aquarium, whose dimensions correspond to having the power of use space, for example from 7 liters, and can reach up to 38 liters. It could be cube-shaped aquarium, either round ball like mine, or long shallow aquarium shallow, well suited for aquascape. Substrate use rich in nutrients. Example, I use aquarium soil, also adding clinical substrate and granules is also nutritious. Also sometimes add biohumuso for additional nutrient substrate, and also sometimes add granules. Fertilizer for plants run in. Use only gravel or only sand, since plants will be missed. Nutrients for growth. As for Paharsky Po, for your landscape design, choose natural materials such as say river tree, roots, trees, and of course natural stones. Arrange the hardscape like this to create depth and interesting tricks. Plants choose that grow without extra feed hole to. And for example, Anubias busphilandra, Cryptocarantellum. Also here's to the fountain. Could very well behaves green human, Ripcairn parvalism, Hemianthus spurlui. All those plants very well suited for nano aquarium without filters. Also very well grow lighting. I don't count cotton candy by liters. I'm just picking the right spectrum, the right light, intense enough for certain size aquarium. Choose the right lamp for your size. Aquarium LED. Lamps with adjustment and brightness. Also with timers with built-in. Either that light. Where I don't have built-in timer, I use regular timers on the outlet. And my light all automatically turns on. The duration of this day at my aquariums, no more than 7 hours. Avoid too strong, intense lighting for your aquarium, since you might have algae issues, and plants in moderate light will be fine to thrive without additional supply as many as 2. As for water parameters, low-tech aquariums, they don't require exact water parameters. I just recently measured my water parameters in one of your videos. Usually I don't do any tests, but the most important thing is regular 30 to 50% weekly. Helps maintain water quality. As for living,